Hello, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about open source software. Now, it seems that pretty much everybody, when they start programming, or even after a little while, or you become sort of really an old hand at it, you decide you want to write some open source software or just to scratch an itch. But in my opinion, if you really wanted to contribute to open source software, you would be much better off contributing to documentation or help and assistance for new users, because it's quite often that you find the author of some program who's made it, but it's not particularly user friendly because he never got any feedback, or she, when they were writing the program, so they never got any feedback. They didn't make it particularly user friendly. The software is great for the purposes that the author intended, but it could have had additional uses that the author didn't envision initially. And so getting feedback from a community of users is useful. Now, the first set of users that are going to give you feedback are probably going to be technical people who understand how to do the installation and upkeep and whatever else is required to get this thing up and running and working. But subsequent people are not going to be these types of technically minded people. They're going to be what I would like to call the general population. And this is just people who just want to use some software to do something, whatever that thing might be. And although when you write the program, you've written it for yourself, you don't really anticipate non-technical people installing it. But if it becomes popular, then that is what's going to happen. And so if you want to contribute more, running out and writing yet another version of yet another application is probably not so useful. It's probably more useful to extend a piece of software that you like and you use, but you just make it a bit better or add in features that you want. And also write some documentation. Make it easier for the general population to use this software that you like. Make it easier for them to install. Make it easier for them to find help and documentation. And, all of that stuff that we all need when we're trying to use a piece of software for the first time, brand new, straight off the shelf, as it were. And I've run into this a few times where the author has written a piece of software, it runs on my computer, I'm alright, Jack, here you go. Have it, internet, it's yours. Like, I'm gifting this to you. Like, it's not really much of a gift, to be honest, if it doesn't work on 95% of the computers on the internet. If you can't download it, if you can't figure out how to install it, if you can't figure out what all these buttons do when, and the symbols don't make any sense, and, it doesn't have a user manual, then it's a waste of gift, really. Like, you should have just kept it on your computer and left it and not bothered handing it out. So realistically, if you want to contribute to the open source movement, documentation is probably the way to go. More people will help you and appreciate it than you would get if you just yet another programmer hacking out yet another bit of Python code. So this is just my opinion. As always, I'm interested in hearing your opinion, so leave them in the comments. But I think if you wanted to really contribute to open source software, have a look at fixing up some documentation, improving the installation instructions, all those sorts of good things. Or just add new features into an existing bit of software rather than trying to reinvent the wheel yourself. Alright, that's it for me. See you later.